You are listening to Inside the Music with Jeremiah's Grotto. This is the second track off of the album Through It All, and this is the first song that Ben, Chris, Joel, and myself wrote for the album. Some say this song came from a dream. Some say that it was written in Chris's barn. If you want to know more about this song, listen to the episode. First, let's talk about The Matter, which is the song that's at the beginning of the podcast, and then the conclusion of The Matter, which is the song after the podcast. And you can talk about it, because those are songs that you had before I think we had even gotten together. It was just something that you had been working on. So
yeah, it was just a concept. Because what is it? Is it like Ecclesiastes, where it's like the conclusion of the matter? Like, so I was like, well, to have a conclusion of the matter, you got to know what the matter is. And so it was just like a concept. It was like, never anything lyrically behind it. It was just two instrumental things that, I thought sounded pretty neat. And honestly, they sound way better after Matt Goldman was like, here, do this.
It was probably my guitar part too. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's probably it.
The icing on the cake.
Yeah, let's say it was that. So, there wasn't a whole lot to that, and then actually it's funny listening to them though on the album after they recorded. I was like, man, it wouldn't be hard to write words for these, but it's just they're repetitive, right? It's like the same thing over and over and over and over. But
see what I like about it though is since we did that song and recorded that, if I ever listen to it, it's kind of like whoever listens to, they can just make up their own words.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those books where you have what do they call those books? Where it's like your own adventure. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
Choose your own lyrics. we did that on purpose, right? I mean,
write it yourself. I like a lot of instrumental stuff too. So like the beginning of the Exemplar album starts out with an instrumental song. I listen to a lot of like instrumental bands, like Explosions in the Sky and Tides from Nebula. This Will Destroy You. What's that one? Matt Goldman recorded a really good one, Black Shape. Oh my gosh.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I remember Chris playing that song saying, hey, this will make a good intro for a podcast one day. And I was like, what's a podcast? He said, I don't know. They haven't been invented yet. So like, we'll see, I guess.
Me, always,
thinking ahead.
Right?
That foresight. Yeah. So if anybody wants to hear those two songs, I mean, they, probably nobody's probably listened to the end of the podcast. If they've made it all the way through an episode, then they have. But we'll have to go look at those stats on that. But everybody's, I'm sure, has listened to the first to the intro of the podcast that has the matter. The matter.
Yep.
And so after that song on the CD, the next song is Always in Me, and that's the one we did talk about a little bit. To where when we first met up with you at the barn in Sebring, at your dad's barn, and then at Joel's house in their garage, that was the first song that we just kind of started. We both had kind of been writing that separately, not knowing it before we even met, and just kind of, same key, same everything. And,
I actually remember we were at Joel's house in his kitchen. And I don't think I had my guitar with me. Like, this is when I first, I went over there to meet up with you guys. I was like, oh, I've been noodling with this idea, and I was playing it, and you're like, no way, because I've been playing this, and it was like the same thing. And that's where it started. And then, then we went to the barn, and we actually worked on the other songs then and kind of messed around with that. And then in Joel's garage is where it really all came together.
So for me, for that part on the guitar, it came to me in a dream. No, not really.
I remember that.
So that is not true. But what is true, I remember when we were in Chrome Donuts, we were at Tony. What's his last name? The guy for Murray Hill Theater, the guy that runs that, Tony Nasrallah. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
We stayed at his house, and man, I remember it was super clear. I could hear piano music. Just there was no piano anywhere, but I could hear music as clear as anything. If I was smart enough to write music, I probably could sit down and write all the notes out. But yeah. So, what's the inspiration for the song? Do we want to talk about that? What do we want to talk about with that?
I guess we could. I mean, it's from, in my perspective, it's a few things. So, one, like, lyrics are not my strong suit because I never really spent any time, like, really trying to craft anything super intelligent lyrically. But I mean, it's got a few things, right? I
think it's great. I think it's a really great song.
There's some things, and maybe it's just like having wrote the lyrics and then like thinking back on, it's like, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. Like the first part of that song is, I still feel your kiss on my face. And then the first song on Exemplar, Melissa's Decision, it starts out with a very similar line. Caleb sings on that one, but it's was it "You Caress My Face with a Gentle Kiss"? Well, it's kind of like, my thoughts are like, after going through a hard time, like God giving you peace. So it's not like necessarily like a literal kiss. But also, it was like, going home, or when actually not going home, but like when you leave on tour and you're thinking of home and family and everything, So it's kind of like that. Like I said, I never really put a lot into the lyrics and writing. I really wish I would have taken more time, but that was 20 years ago. So
sounds like you put some thought into that to me. I mean, sounds good. I like it. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know what idea you had behind that song. I mean, I'm learning something new today.
Well, I had a thing where like, I kind of want to keep things where people can just make up their own story to it.
Yeah. I like things that have a different meaning to different people.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Almost like the Matter and Conclusion Matter, where it's a write your own song, right? It's like
almost
DIY.
Almost like art. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost like an art form, almost. Not quite. No, so this if y'all want to do this, when's the last time you listened to this song?
Well, I listened a couple weeks ago after we recorded this first one. I listened to the album again.
Okay.
Because I figured we'd probably talk about it, and I need to know some stuff.
Ben, when's the last time you?
I'm trying to think. I don't know that I haven't listened to like the album all the way through in a long time, but it's kind of in regular
20 years.
Sometimes
we recorded it.
He's like, when did I leave the studio?
No, it's somehow in like Spotify rotation or something, so it comes up once in a while, songs here and there. So I've heard them, recently, I guess.
So play this, and Ben's not even going to recognize. He's going to be like,
"Yeah,
us."
So I'm going to play it.
It had an incredibly long instrumental intro as well.
Yeah, it's at least a minute long.
It's longer than that. It's like 2 minutes long in the intro.
Okay. Yeah, for a slow song, I really like playing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It was actually very fun to play. Probably one of the few that I could actually still play today. Like 2 days. All the basics.
I did like coming up the guitar, like the different octave parts on here.
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
I think this was, to me, this is probably the perfect song for us to put on this album for the first song.
Yeah.
I think it kind of, if because it's different than Exemplar, and it was different from the Chrome Donut stuff for sure. It's just a different tempo than what we were doing.
I remember there was some debate in the studio
Really?
over this one being the first song, like with words on the album. I think Matt had suggested we do "What Can I Do" because it was so catchy.
I think we made the right decision with this one, though.
I think it ended up with a pretty good flow, the whole album.
Yeah, I agree.
That's something I like in, albums I listen to, and it maybe it's because of being in the van and listening to music back to back to back. You get used to an album, and the whole album is one piece, by itself.
Yeah.
I don't know that you have that anymore in today's music because it's more one song and one song gets popular. I don't think that may be a thing that's in the past now.
Yeah. This is where we sped it up for Joel.
Yeah. This was the compromise. Yeah.
Yep. Man, he was like so precise what he did, what he played.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Hearing the rim shots and stuff in that song, how exactly the same they all are.
Man.
I think if there was any song, if even 20 years from now, and I wanted just to get the feeling of Jeremiah's Grotto and what Jeremiah's Grotto was for us, with this new iteration or whatever of Jeremiah's Grotto. To me, this is the song that I would listen to, and this is through it all. Yeah.
All right.
See that.
Also, there's some chords in that song that we end up using in other songs too, which I like when a band kind of has, even if nobody realizes what they're doing, but sort of a theme, and those things, those little nuanced things, kind of give a sound. So one of the chords I know that I used a lot on that album, it's like a 3-finger, power chord.
Yeah.
But that third finger, instead of doing the octave note, like if you're playing a G power chord, instead of that pinky being on the octave G, it's basically on a note down, which is like the 7th. So
Yeah.
it gives it that, I don't know what you call that sound, that depressing sound. No, but just
More
that
dissonant.
yeah, just a different sound. So, but that we use that a lot in a lot of other songs on that album too. So
Yeah.
kind of gave it a certain feel.